Hello everyone, and welcome to another S4 highlights video. So this one we're going to take a look at Sqvi. I have a feeling it's going to be slightly longer than the other ones. It's a little more complexity to this one, but it's always been a great tool, so we want to just make sure that it's available and everybody's comfortable with using it. So let's jump in and take a quick look. Okay, so first thing here, let's take a look. We're logged in our Hana S4 system right now. Let's just jump right in and we'll take a look at the transaction to make sure that we still exist. And sure enough, you can see very similar looking to what we had before on ECC. We've got our same kind of menus. We can create our quick views, change, display. We've got our additional functions still down here. We can generate a program out of it if we need. Let's take a look at some of the other menu functions here. Everything's relatively looking the same. So you can see I can tell very little difference here between what we saw before and what we're seeing now. Let's go ahead and go and create one. See if our create and change functions all work about the same as what we saw before. So I'm going to go in and create a quick view related to customer data here that I want to take a look at. So we've got great customer search functions already. We've got reports that we can use, but in this case I want to build a little quick view analysis tool to let me search on some very specific customer fields that I'll explain here in a moment. So let's just check out our create function. Sure enough, very much the same as before. I'm going to use the basis mode, and we're going to go ahead and up here do a table join. All right. And I'll give it a quick little title, search help extended for customer master KNA1, KNVV, KNV1. I want to look up address, data, shipping, and payment terms. Let's create that. Great, drops us in. Let's add our tables. There we get our general data for the customer master. Let's add our sales. And then let's add our company code. There we go. We have all three. They're all added in. Works more or less like what we saw before. Okay, I'm just going to check this really quick. Looking at it for any kind of differences here that we can kind of point out, highlights. More or less everything is looking very similar to what we had saw before. Okay, so let's go ahead and back up and build our query. Here, okay. Seeing everything, all of our tabs, all of our field selections, everything's looking very familiar. So I'm going to go in here and build our selection criteria and our output. I want to see the customer number, and quite possibly then too, I may want to select on customer. Definitely want to select on country key. Let's go ahead and see the name, city, and region. And just in case, let's pull in this sort field. Okay, and here in the sales area data, definitely want to be able to search on sales area, primarily the sales organization and distribution channel. I also want to see those listed out. Now the specifics of why I'm building this query, not just using a standard report. I really want to see a list right now of customers that are selected by payment terms and shipping conditions that aren't in our country. So I want to see who we're shipping to outside of my primary country, the US, and then also what shipping conditions we've applied and what payment terms we're using for those shipping conditions. We're going to do a little bit of analysis on that later on. I just want to show here, hey, basically the quick view is working the same, and I can do some of that similar data analysis that we've always done before. All right, so let's close this one here. Let's go in and take a look at shipping condition. Does it still exist? So I can search by our shipping condition. Great, pulls it right up. I could search by the field name as well if I know that. So I want to select on that, and I also want to display it. That's good enough for that one. Now I also want to look at payment terms in 2 places. I'm going to go ahead and search on Z-term for payment terms. And we have our terms of payment. Include both of those. I'm going to go up here and close down the sales area data and go look at the company code data. And same thing here, I want to look at the company code payment term as well. KNB1, Z-term. There we have it. So I'm going to check this. I'm going to save it. And let's go ahead and run it. Great. So I'm just going to leave this wide open. Anything not equal to the US. There we go. Easy as is. So real quick here, the primary reason we ran this was just to show that Sqvi, the quick view, more or less is working the same. You can rely on that. So if you're doing data conversions, if you're troubleshooting, if you're doing data analysis, and you've been used to using this transaction in ECC, you can go in and take a look at it in your S4 system as well. Again, so there's some differences in systems. Check that it works for you. Check that you don't see any differences. I would recommend going in and doing some testing in a quality system or development system, and you should be good to go. Now, a little bit more on the business scenario. So again, just explaining here. So I was just wanting to go in and look and see what customers we're shipping to. You could say outside of your primary country, what sales area organization they belong to, and then what shipping condition and payment terms we're applying in the sales data and the company code data as well, to make sure everything's appropriately applied. So I don't want to be using payment terms for a regional customer when I should be using international payment terms on something that we're shipping internationally. So again, you'll want to look at your business scenarios, do some modeling, do some data analysis, see what applies for your business scenario, but know that you can pretty much use Sqvi for some real quick data analysis. Now I'm going to drop this out. I want to just check and see that I can still drop it to spreadsheet. Sure enough, this as well is looking very similar to what I saw before in ECC. And I'm going to go ahead and click export. It looks like it popped right up. Okay, so yeah, even relatively quick, maybe even quicker than what I saw in the previous development systems. So now that it's in Excel, I can take this and I can do all kinds of all of our Excel data analysis. If you got other data analysis tools, you can rely on those tools. So there you have it. That's Sqvi on Hana S4. Hopefully you're going to come back and join us for some more S4 highlights, and we'll talk to you real soon. Thanks.